Introduction. Note-taking is one of the most important activities for students. There are a variety of reasons for it, but we only want to highlight the most important one here. Taking notes will help you recall information that will otherwise be lost. But taking notes the right way isn't as easy as it sounds. Taking note is about summarizing core concepts as precisely as possible in your own words. One thing that most successful students have in common is that they use a specific note-taking method. A note-taking method will help you to prepare before the lecture and to review key concepts after a class. It will help you to stay focused during the lecture, to pay more attention and actively participate. It will help you to organize your notes properly, that you don't have to worry about losing the overview once you get back to them to prepare for an exam. Number 1 is the kernel method. This note-taking method recommends students to divide a page into 3. The note section should be bigger and comprised of main ideas taken from lectures or text in the form of short sentences, formulas or diagrams. Keywords on the subject or relevant question are written in the cast section. Furthermore, the summary section is a review of the main point of that lesson or chapter. This note-taking method makes your notes all look organized and clean. However, it also helps you to study better. Advantage number 1 is a quicker way to take, review and organize your note. Number 2, cuts down time for reviewing. Number 3, help you to extra main idea. Number 4, helps in effective learning as it enables to absorb information in a shorter time. For disadvantage, number 1 is requires some time for reviewing and summarizing the key concept. Number 2, page need to be prepared before a lecture. Number 2, the mapping method. It helps organize your notes by dividing them into branches, enabling you to establish relationships between the topics. Start with writing the main topic at the top of the map. Keep dividing it into subtopics on the left and right as you go down. Advantage number 1 is visually appealing. Number 2 is can be used for noting down detailed information but in a concise form. Number 3 is allow easy editing of the note. For disadvantage, number 1 is while mapping your note, you might run out of space on a single page. Number 2 can be confusing if the information is wrongly placed while taking note. Number 3 is the outline method. The outline method is one of the most popular note-taking method for college students. It lets you organize your note in a structured form, helping you save a lot of time for further reviewing and editing. As the name suggests, this method requires you to structure your note in form of an outline by using bullet points to represent different topics and their subtopics. Start writing main topic on the far left of the page and add related subtopic in bullet points below using indents. Advantage number 1 is highlight the key point of the lecture in a logical way. Number 2 is of use, allow the student to focus. Number 3, give a proper and clean structure to your notes. Number 4 is reduce the reviewing and editing time. For disadvantage, number 1, not suitable for subjects like chemistry and math that comprise of formula and charts. Number 2, doesn't work well if the attended lecture doesn't follow a certain structure. Number 4, the boxing method. The boxing method requires you to put your notes in box. Each page of your note is filled with several boxes. Inside the box are all interrelated content. Also, can divide the box by topic or subtopic choose. The advantage of this note-taking method is that it's also simple and visually appealing. It allows to compartmentalize ideas in an organized and effective manner. It can review and focus on the box thoroughly first before move manner. It can review and focus on the box thoroughly first before move on to another. However, similar to charting, this note-taking method is not suitable to be used during lectures as it requires more time to organize. Advantage number 1 is segregate and organize your notes in the form of box. Number 2, help you to memorize the relation between notes in a visual way. Number 3, perfect for people that takes notes on an iPad. Number 4, let your focus on box at a time while reading. Disadvantage number 1 is doesn't work well if no overall topic can be assigned to a group of notes. Number 2, requires additional time to group the notes in the end of during the lecture. Lastly, the charting method. The charting method is done by organizing notes into a table with distinct rows and columns separated by category. This is especially useful for class where there are many relationships between facts and ideas. Obviously, it is most effective for you to make comparisons between each topic. Similar to mapping, it is visually appealing while also being easy to look at and comprehend. Charting takes time too, and it's not recommended to be done concurrently with lectures. Advantage number 1 is information is clearly structured. Number 2, a lot of information can be memorized rather quickly. Number 3, notes are easily comparable. Number 4 is fantastic for reviewing. Disadvantage number 1 is very time-consuming method. Number 2, barely makes sense to apply this method in a lecture or class where the content isn't clear beforehand. Number 3, doesn't work for information that can easily be categorized. Conclusion. Briefly to conclude, the list method is usually not the best choice because it is focused exclusive on capturing as much of what the instructors say as possible, not on processing the information. Most students who have not learned effective study skills use this method because it's easy to think that this is what note-taking is all about. Even a skill in some form of shorthand should probably also learn one of the other methods described here, because they are all better at helping process and remember the material. Taking organized and truthful notes can help improve your understanding and recall of what have learned in class. Preparing for taking and studying notes is an essential part of becoming a successful learner and getting the most out of the time effort spent in class. The reward will be worth the effort.